Good evening, all. Let me start session. So today I'm going to explain you how to use Jira as a test management tool. How to use Jira as test management tool. So this is the agenda of the today's session. How to use Jira as a test management tool. This is the agenda of the session today. So as a test management tool, what we are going to learn as a test management tool, what we are going to learn how to first one how to add test cases or how to create test cases in Jira. How to create test cases in Jira. How to create test cases in Jira. That is one thing. How to create test cases in Jira is one thing. How to execute test cases in Jira. How to execute test cases in Jira. How to report defects in Jira. How to report defects in Jira. How to create test reports in Jira. How to manage traceability in Jira. How to manage traceability in Jira. So these are the few things we are going to learn. These are the few things we are going to learn. How to create test cases in Jira and how to execute test cases in Jira. How to report defects in Jira. How to report defects in Jira. Okay, and how to create test reports in Jira. How to manage traceability in Jira. How to manage traceability in Jira. So let me start one by one. One by one. This is complete testing perspective I will be teaching today. Let's say open the Jira. Open the Jira. If you click on create button, do you see test option here? There is no test option. So to create test cases, or so to use Jira as a test management tool. To use Jira as a test management tool, Jira must be integrated to Jira must be integrated with Jira must be integrated. To use Jira as a test management tool, use Jira as a test management tool, Jira must be integrated with an app called Zephyr. So Jira must be integrated with an app called Zephyr. Jira must be integrated with an app called Zephyr. So how to integrate Jira with other apps? Okay, very simple. Go to apps in the Jira homepage. Click on find new apps. Okay, so here you type Zephyr, Jephyr, Jephyr. Here you can see Jephyr for Jira, which is a test management. Jephyr for Jira, which is a test management. So click on try it free. Click on try it free. Start free trial. So you will see a message here. Will tell you when your app has been added. Will tell you when your app has been added. So I'm trying to add Jephyr with Jira. So this is the process how to add Jephyr with Jira. Okay, here you can see the Jephyr is added to Jira. You will get a notification. See this. So Jephyr for Jira test management was added. Jephyr for Jira test management was added. So once the test management is added, you can navigate back to your project. You can navigate back to your project, and on the left side, now you can see an option called Jephyr. On the left side, now you can see an option called Jephyr. Earlier this option was not there. So Jephyr is a third party app which is added. So here you can see the Jephyr is added. So Jephyr is used as a test management tool with integration with, in integration with Jira. So now I try to start using the Jephyr. So in association with Jira as a test management tool. Jephyr as a test management tool. Jephyr as a test management tool. Okay, so now so one part is we have completed successfully. Jira added with Jephyr. Jira added with Jephyr. Jira added with Jephyr. Okay. So once Jira added with Jephyr, once Jira added with Jephyr, once Jira added with Jephyr, I wanted to write test case here. So to access your test options, click on the Jephyr here. Here you have multiple options. Create a test case, create a BDD feature, search test cases, import test cases. So you can search test execution. You can create some reports. Okay, so they have some features given, and you can customize your Jeffrey fields also. Let me start first writing the test cases. Here, click on create a test. I'm trying to here the test option is not visible. Again, the test option, you cannot see the test option. So why again? So even though I have added Jeffrey is a test management tool, but why test option is not available? Why test option is not available? The main reason, first, so go to your Jira settings. Go to your Jira settings. That is in the project. Go to your project settings. Go to issue types. Left side. Click on edit issue types. See, test option is available now. Earlier test option is not available. You have added Jeffrey, so test option is available now. So now test option is available. You can add this to. So test option I have added. Click on the save button. Click on the save button. Now you back to your project. Back to your project. Now you try to create the test case. You have two options to create the test case. Either you click on this create button. Either you click on this create button or click on the Jeffrey. Click on the Jeffrey. Click on create a test option. Click on the Jeffrey. Click on create a test option. So here I am trying to create the first test case. Issue type, ensure you are so creating the test case. So I have selected the test option. I am writing the first test case. Let's say to test payment functionality, to test payment functionality with credit card, to test payment functionality with credit card. So give proper description. So click on, and one more thing, to which requirement you are writing this test case, don't forget to link your test case with the requirement. So to which requirement you are writing this test case, you can link this. So I am writing this test case to story number IQC5. Okay, so test case ID is created. Ramana, how to access the test case ID? How to access the test case ID? To access the test case ID, okay, so to access this test case ID, you go to filters, advanced issue search. So advanced issue search, you go to the filter, advanced issue search. See, this is the test case ID created. Open this. Or one more method, the easy method, go to filter, advanced issue search, advanced issue search. So select issue type equal to test. Here write issue type equal to test. Write issue type equal to test. So this is the test case just now we created. IQC-306. IQC-306, the test case ID which we created. So once you see the test case ID, to test a payment functionality, here you need to add details, because see, in general, if you are a tester, you might be knowing this, how to create a test case. What are the key sections of test case? What are the key fields of a test case? So what are the key fields of a test case? Test case ID, test case description, test case priority, test case author, we provide precondition, test steps, test data, expected result. So whenever you are writing a test case, these are the minimum fields I can say. Here you have the test case ID IQC-306. This is the test case title, test case description. So to which requirement you are writing the test, assignee, who created the test case and reporter, and priority of the test case. Priority of the test case. Details, here you can see three symbols. One is Jeffrey actions, test details, test executions. I want click on the middle button, add test details. Add test details. I'm adding the test details. See those test details. So here click on the middle button, add test details. Add test details. So test steps, test data, test result. Test steps, test data, test result. So test steps, test data, and test result. Here, so I'm adding the test steps. Navigate to payment screen. Payment screen displayed. Payment screen displayed. Click on the payment button. Payment button. Okay. So I mean, before we click on the payment button, enter payment details. So here you give test data, credit card number, PIN number, expiry date, some kind of details. Credit card details are entered. Credit card details are entered. Credit card details are entered. Click on payment button. Click on payment button. Payment successful message must be displayed. 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 Okay, test steps I have added. So this is my test case ID, test case title, description, traceability, to which requirement you are writing the test case. These are the test steps, test data, test result. So if you want to add any other columns also, you can change the columns. As of now, test step, test data, test results are there. If you want any other column, like you can modify the columns here. Okay. So if you want to hide it and click, if you click here, details will be displayed. If you click here, test details will be displayed. The data will be loaded. Okay, so here this is about how to create a simple test case. One more test case I will write, so that if you are not clear first time, again you will understand. So the discussion is very simple: how to create a new test case. So very simple: how to create a new test case in Jira tool. How to create a new test case in Jira tool. So step 1. Okay. So one time activity, ensure Zephyr app added. Step 3. Click on create button. Click on create button means here. Click on the create button. So select test option. Let's say test search functionality for plants in e-commerce website. For plants in e-commerce website fnp.com. This is my description here. So fnp.com. This is my description here. So to which requirement you are writing this test case, you can link it in the linked issues. Okay. So click on the create button. Test case ID will be generated. So here you can see the test case ID. So now I wanted to add test details. So for that you click on this symbol. So I wanted to add test details. For that you click on this symbol. Okay. Here I wanted to add test steps. Open fnp.com. effect, search button, click on search button, click on search button, search results, so enter value in search button, search field, enter value in search field, the value is, so search with search with the plan, enter in search field, value entered in search field, value entered in search field, click on search button. Okay, only plans must be displayed in the only plans must be displayed in only plans must be displayed in search results. Only plans must be displayed in search results. So okay, this is how I write the test steps. Once you write the test steps, you can send it for review kind of thing. You can make the status as in progress. You can make the status as in progress. Okay, so you can assign it, if you want to assign this to someone review, you can add the person name here. So test case is added. Test case is added. So two test cases I have created. Now you might be having a question like so the second question. Now I created the test case. So once we create the test case, generally how testing life cycle happens. So as per the test approach mentioned in test plan, we create test cases. This is step 1. Step 2, created test cases must be reviewed, comma, as per review feedback, updated. Once a test case is approved, then and environment is ready, and so approved, comma, environment is ready, and build is deployed, then test will be executed. So how to execute the test cases? So we discussed how to design test case in Jira. Now I am going to show you how to execute test case in Jira. So how to execute test case in Jira? So how to execute test case in Jira? Hope you understand. It's very simple. How to execute test case in Jira? Okay. So in Jira test execution, there are two types. In Jira test execution, there are two types. One is plan your test cases. Plan your test cases for execution. Plan your test cases for execution. That is one. Two, ad hoc execution without planning test cases for execution. Without planning test cases for execution. And the second one, ad hoc execution, that is without planning test cases for execution. So without planning test cases, plan your test cases for execution. That is plan your test cases with. So how to do that without planning for execution? So how to do that without planning for execution? how to do without planning for execution. That is, so without planning for execution, number one, so open the Jira. First of all, to execute your test case, very simple, very simple. Click on the execute button. Okay, so go to world view. Go to world view. Here you can see execute button. In execution, there are two types. You can do planned execution, and the second one ad hoc execution. You can do planned execution, other one is ad hoc execution. So planned execution. Okay, so you can first you add to test cycle, then execute. First, just simply click on execute button. Execute button. Okay, so here click on execute ad hoc. As I told, there are two options. One is execute ad hoc, other one is add to existing test cycle. Execute ad hoc, other one is add to existing test cycle. So execute ad hoc, add to existing test cycle. So when I say add to existing test cycle or execute ad hoc, so first I wanted to execute ad hoc. You need not to fill this data. Just click on execute button. So execute ad hoc means you are not planning execution, just you want to execute. So click on the execute button. Mode is opening. Execution mode is opening here. So here you can see the execution mode is opening. The test case is opened in execution window. See, here I wanted to tell one concept. How generally execution happens in any real-time project. Either you use Excel sheet or folders or any tool. For example, all your project test cases will be in test case design folder. All your test cases will be in test case design folder. So whenever you create all your test cases in design folder, all your test cases will be in test case design folder. So let's say your test case design folder contain, let's say test case 1, test case 1, test case 2, test case 2, test case 3, test case 5. Okay, these are the different test case example. So you cannot execute directly in the design folder. If you execute directly in the design folder, so it cannot be used for future reference. Like in future I wanted to do retesting by using this test case. In future I wanted to do regression testing by using this test case. So you cannot directly execute these test cases in the design folder. Instead of executing directly from design folder, here you create one more execution folder. Under execution folder, you create subfolders. So you create subfolders like test cycle 1, nothing but round 1 testing. Test cycle 1, nothing but round 2 testing. Test cycle 1, test cycle 2. So test cycle 1, test cycle 2, test cycle 3. So test cycle 3. So test cycle 1, test cycle 2, test cycle 3. Okay, like this you can create execution folders. In cycle 1, how many test cases you want to execute? Copy, go to this folder, copy to cycle 1. So make a copy of it. So copy from, so test cycle, copy from this. So how many test cases you want to execute in cycle 1? So copy those test cases. So in real time, whatever the tool you use, Excel sheets or folders, copy test cases from to execution folder, execute that copy of test, execute copy of the test case. Don't execute the original test case. Same test case you copy. This concept, how it works in Jira tool, I'm going to explain you. Okay, so that's why you can do planned execution. You can do planned execution, or you can do ad hoc execution. You can do planned. So now I'm showing you ad hoc execution. So initially you can see here the execution status, pause, fail, work in progress. You can see here execution status, pause, fail, work in progress. Okay, so like that here multiple states are there. Initially it is unexecuted. Move it to work in progress because I started execution is in progress. Execution is in progress. Okay, so here what is the first step? What is the first step? Open fnp.com. Open fnp.com. The first step of execution. Open fnp.com. Open fnp.com. What is the first step? Open fnp.com. I'm going to open fnp.com. I'm going to open fnp.com. Okay. So fnp.com open. So I executed this step. So it's pause. I'm writing actual result in this comment section, or you can write you can add one more column called actual result column also. You can create one column, but as of now come open. So this test step 1 is pause. Then enter value in the search field. So here I am entering the value plans for anniversary. What is the value? Plans for anniversary, and click on the search button. So value entered. So it is search button is allowing pause. Value entered in search button. Value entered in search button. Once value entered in search button, okay, so once value entered in search button, so here see, check for the results. Only plants must be displayed, but other than plant, it is a cake but it is displayed. So as per the expectation, only plants must be displayed. See, this is only balloon, but balloons also displayed. Okay, so click on the search button, pause. So I'm executing. So all the steps are paused. So finally total test case execution state, sorry, it is fail, right? I need to change the, it's a defect, right? So other than plants, why it is defect? Other than plants also getting displayed. Other than plants also getting displayed. And you take the screenshot of it. Okay? You take the screenshot of it, like open to this app. So use any snipping tool to take the screenshot. So other than plants also getting displayed. So this is the proof. Save as. So save as. Test the results folder. So this test is actually, I wanted to mark it as a fail. Invalid results getting displayed. Invalid results getting displayed. Results getting displayed. So whenever invalid results are getting displayed, I want to report the defect. Reporting the defect also very simple. Here you go here. So click on this field. Click on this field, create defect. So I'm trying to create, the test is failed. So I'm trying to create a new defect. The defect window is opening. The defect window is opening. So here, so mark it as a bug. Mark it as a bug. Let's say invalid test results for search keyword plans for anniversary. Plans for anniversary. Plans for anniversary. Invalid test results for search keyword plans for anniversary. So you can add, like, so because of this defect, how many test cases are failed. So you can link this to test cases also. Create a defect. So one defect is created, and if you want to open the defect is created. Now you can add details like status of the defect, assignee, priority, severity, all those things you can add once the defect is open. Okay. So I showed you till now ad hoc execution. Now I'm going to show you planned execution. When I say planned execution, click on Jeffir, go to cycle summary, and under the tab called planning and execution, there is a tab called cycle summary. There is a tab called cycle summary. So once you go to the navigate to cycle summary. Once you navigate to cycle summary, here you can create a new test cycle. Cycle 1.0. Nothing but round 1 testing you are doing. Test cycle 1.0. Nothing but round 1 testing. Test cycle 1.0. So I wanted to execute. So first I created a new test cycle. Okay. Once you create a new test cycle, see here, I'm creating a test cycle. Test cycle is nothing but I'm creating an execution folder. So I plan that cycle 1, 2, 3 and so on. So test cycle 1.0. Here add tests. So you can add, see, you created execution cycle, execution folder. Now you have to add test cases to test cycle. For example, so if you remember the test case ID, you can add individually, or by writing the search filter also you can add the test cases. So first I add test cases to test cycle. See, 2 test cases I have added under the test cycle folder. See, these are the 2 test cases which I have added just now. So now you execute. How to execute this? Now you execute. Click here. Click on execute button. This is planned execution. Click on execute button. So you copy test case to test cycle folder and you are executing. Okay. So here execution status is equal to. So now work in progress. I started execution. Work in progress. For example, if you execute manually and if all the tests are passed, if you execute manually and all the test steps are passed, so click here. to execute manually and all the test steps are passed. So click on execute button. So it's a manual execution. You have to update the test results manually. Okay, so all steps are passed. Automatically execution status is see how many test cases I executed till now. So there is just very simple. Navigate your project. If you want to see how many test cases you've executed in this project till now, it is very simple. Go here, Jfir, search test execution. Search